is 8 o'clock on the East Coast. It is 5 o'clock on the West Coast. It is the 5th of December in the year of our Lord 2024. Season 15, episode 21, 690 times. You have been welcome to the Clubhouse Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, pop culture, pro wrestling. It's what we do. Welcome. My name is Rob. I am the executive producer of the Clubhouse Podcast, and I have officially made my first mug of hot chocolate for this season. I'm very excited about this. Tastes like history. But I am not alone. Let's bring in Don right now. Alex out on assignment tonight. I got all this fuzz all over my microphone. He is the official fact checker of Sooner or Gator Productions. And it looks really weird the way his thing is framed with his shirt. You may know him as Igbunu, but his mama named him Don Ford. I'm going to call him Don Ford. Hey, man.
He is for Cookie. That's good enough for me.
It is good enough for me. How are you, sir?
This is good. I'm good. This was a Thanksgiving gift from the fantastic Faye Ford.
Very nice. I'm a big fan of the Cookie Monster.
Yeah, so am I. So,
well, I would think you are because she gave you the shirt.
I know, but I think it should be like a national anthem, that song, you know.
No.
Well, not the national anthem, but like one of the...
No.
I love that song.
It's a great song. It's not a national anthem, Don.
For cookies, it is.
Unless you live in the toll house. No.
Keeblerville.
No. Because they have their own thing.
Okay. Well, they still make cookies.
All right, let's dive right in. Talk a little bit of sports here, Don.
Let's talk.
Major League Baseball, which we very rarely talk about this time of year.
Rarely. Unless
is
it's a major.
Toying with an idea.
Okay.
And I'm going to run it past you.
Okay, I'm listening.
Have you heard of the Golden at-Bat, Don?
No.
So this idea has come forth.
Okay.
That one time a game, each team can just put somebody in the batter's box. Out of turn, doesn't have to be, it could be a designated hitter, but they don't have to lose a guy for one at bat. Each team.
One game.
Per game, yes.
Per game. Okay.
What are your thoughts here?
No. Because my thing is you already have designated hitters and stuff to hit for other people. No. If it's there's 9 people. There's the 3 outfielders, there's the shortstop, the first base, and I think the pitcher should have to hit 2.
I have long said that I do not like the designated hitter. Never have. If there's one position that should know what to look for when a ball's being thrown, it's the guy that throws the ball.
Exactly.
So I say this is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
But I will give you one caveat to it.
Okay.
If you want to do this in the All-Star game, I'm okay with that. Because the All-Star game is known for tricking it up. And they've made some changes to the game over the last few years that has sped up the game and I think has made the game better. This is a bridge too far.
I think so too.
Because what happens if you decide, let's say you're in the 8th spot and you don't want that guy hitting, so you have Shohei hit, but Shohei's your 9 hitter. Do you have to have a pinch runner so he can come hit again? This was brought up on ESPN. I'm like, that's an excellent point.
Yeah, I'm not. Here's the thing. I also feel like one of my gripes of English soccer, as they call football out there, is if somebody gets fouled, somebody's coming in, they're like them and the goalie, they got the break. The defender tries and trips them in the penalty area, right? They get a penalty kick, 1-on-1 with the goalie, right? No one around, all that.
Okay.
The thing is that anybody can do the penalty kick. I feel the person, if they got fouled, if I'm running with the ball and I have the ball and I'm about to kick and the guy trips me in the penalty area, if I got fouled, I should have to do the penalty kick. Not your best pick. Not you. Anybody can take the penalty kick. You know what I'm saying? Under the English rules,
okay,
which I'm against. Now,
Right.
if it's a handball, like if it's a foul on a defender, then you should let anybody pick. But if it's someone who gets fouled, they should have to do the penalty kick. You know what I'm saying? Just like in hockey, if you got sticked and fouled on, and they give you the one-on-one with the goalie or whatever, the penalty shot.
Right. No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
That's why I'm against this thing with the now new freebie hitter once a game. I like the idea of the All-Star game once, but that's it. Especially during the playoffs, especially in the World Series.
Yeah, no. I'm against this unless it's the All-Star game. That's it. Or the Savannah Bananas, they can do it. I don't care.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I like the idea that they're trying to think of new things to do. That's good.
Always.
But, yeah, not me.
Let's get on to college football, Don. It's almost time. Next week on this show, which we're going to be on Wednesday next week.
Okay.
Next week on this show, we're doing bowl picks, Don.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is you're going to be our Vanna White.
Am I?
You're going to log on to ESPN, set up your thing, and you're going to do your picks on the screen while we do ours.
Okay. For each game, then, and I'm going to put in, then we'll say what it is.
Correct.
Okay. So if I pick, yeah.
We'll worry about it next week.
Yeah.
Did you hear the breaking news about 3 hours ago? Actually, it was about an hour ago.
Nah, I just came straight from work and I didn't even have nothing on.
Earlier this week, Mack Brown released from his coaching duties at the University of North Carolina.
Okay.
About an hour and a half ago, it was announced that Bill Belichick has met with officials at the University of North Carolina.
Really?
That is what we like to call
kind of
breaking news.
Breaking news. It's that he met with. So you don't think he's going to come to Dallas?
Oh, Lord, no.
Okay.
He wants too much control, and Jerry ain't willing to give it to him.
Yeah.
Because he and Jerry are buds. But there's no way he coaches this team. No, there's no way he coaches this team. Now, they are saying they're expecting to release Mike McCarthy at the end of the year. But I don't think the problem's in the coaching staff. That's all I'm saying.
No. I have respect for McCarthy. It's not him.
You're going to have to go a little bit higher in the stadium seating than that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But Bill Belichick meeting with North Carolina about their coaching vacancy. I honestly don't see this happening because he's having way too much fun on inside the NFL. Plus, I don't know that Belichick wants to go back to the grind, especially in college. But I've been wrong before. So
some people just miss it. Some people, they miss that bug, How, put it this way, if he was probably physically able to, Ric Flair would probably want to still get in the ring. You know what I'm saying?
He'll still try regardless, Don. You know that.
That's what I'm saying.
The man supposedly retired like 15 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, some people still just have that bug and would maybe, especially coaching, there is no, it's not a physical limitations like playing, so I mean, I could see, who knows?
But let's talk about the playoffs because we're going to find out about playoffs on Sunday because Sunday is Selection Sunday because the college conference championships are this weekend. So let's take a look, Don, together.
Okay.
As what if the playoffs started today?
Okay.
What this would look like.
Okay.
Here's your picture. Boom. Right now,
this is
not the only real, there's only a couple of interesting changes here. Your top seeds, Oregon, Texas, SMU, Boise State. 3 and 4 have the biggest chance to change this weekend. Because SMU has to win the conference championship. Boise State has to win the conference championship, although they probably have the most exciting player in college football to watch right now. But if this stands, Ohio State, who lost to Michigan, which is huge.
That was an upset.
Yeah. Although it wasn't a blowout. It was only 3 points. Outside we were like, oh, they got their clock clean. I'm like, they lost by a field goal. The winner of that team would get Oregon. And again, they did the thing where they put the higher seeds on the top, and I don't like that. Should be on the bottom because they should be the home team technically. Now, in the first round, those games would be home and away. There's not a bowl set up for those games. They would be played in the lower seeds home field. Penn State and Arizona State, after a big upset, the winner of that would get Boise State. Georgia would play Indiana, who's holding on by a string right now. They would get Texas, should Texas win the SEC championship on Saturday. Notre Dame and Alabama, because of Alabama's loss, they would get the winner of SMU's game on Saturday. So I've been watching the schedule. There's a lot going on. Of course, we're going to keep you updated. We're going to do our official bowl picks next week. We might have a special guest. You don't know
Who it might be, too.
I know you know who it might be. You were there
I'm not
when
going
we
to say
talked
anything.
about it.
I'm going to keep that as a tease.
I would appreciate that you did that. Yes. Getting into NFL talk.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Right now,
Uh-huh.
just tell me, who do you think is going to win it all?
Oregon.
Oregon? Okay.
Oregon's the best of the field right now, but it could be anybody in the top 5, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have an upset like Boise State did to Oklahoma. You just never know.
Yep. And still,
You know?
you could have any, like you say, any team could beat any other team on any given day. You could have a number 11 beat a number 5. I mean 6. You know.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, that's what I like about it now. I'm happy.
All right.
Makes me feel
NFL
better.
last week on Thanksgiving, we had a triple header. This brought me joy. Detroit giving 9.5, but it was too much because they only beat Chicago by a field goal on horrible clock management at the end of the game, which ends up getting Chicago coach Eberflus, which I'm very sad because he's the only coach I could hear Homer Simpson say his name. Eberflus gets fired from the Bears. Cowboys beat the Giants. They were giving 4. Dallas does win by 7 in a sloppy game. This was an incredibly sloppy game. Miami goes to Green Bay. Green Bay was giving them 3.5. We said it wouldn't be enough, and we were right because they lose by 13. Kansas City by a safety over Vegas as they were giving them 13.5. Don, am I coming through okay over there?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Okay. Is my video okay for you?
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay. Everything looks fine.
It's getting a little squirrely on my end. I just want to make sure.
No, you're good.
On Sunday, Chargers giving 1, but they win by 4 over Atlanta. Pittsburgh, Don, your Steelers. Where's a button I want to play right now?
It was a blizzard.
The streak for Tomlin continues. He cannot have a losing season.
Yay.
I love this. This brings me joy.
You know what? He'll go to the prom, but he won't leave with the date.
You've got a good team this year, sir.
I know. I admit
Minnesota wins by a point over Arizona, but was giving them 3.5. Indy wins by 2, but they were giving 2.5. Seattle wins by 5 when the Jets were giving them 1. Commanders whomping on Tennessee. They were giving 6, and it definitely wasn't enough. Houston giving 3.5, wins by 3 over Jacksonville in another sloppy game. That's 3 games that came down to a half a point. LA giving 2.5, but they beat New Orleans by 7 in a strange affair. Tampa Bay almost loses to Carolina as they were giving 6.5, and they only win by a point. Philly was getting 3, beats Baltimore by 5 in their own house. Sunday Night Football, Buffalo all over San Francisco, especially when you have a receiver that walks barefoot into a snowing stadium. And on Monday Night Football, Denver giving 6.5, but they win by 9. We are about to kick off week 14. Can you believe it, Don?
Yep. And there, God, 14, 15, only 4 weeks left then?
Yep. We're in the final full month of the season with a full slate of games. Right now, we are about to kick off.
Can you explain to me what happened on that time management on that Thanksgiving game? I mean, they had a timeout and let the thing go 20 seconds. I mean, and they were down to like the 20-yard line. They could have got a field goal easy, but they kept losing and a penalty and then they that's football.
Detroit playing on their second Thursday night in a row as they are hosting Green Bay. Detroit is giving 3.5. What you thinking, Don?
Detroit. I think they're on a run.
I would also think Detroit minus the 3.5. They've got some key injuries, but if they win tonight, they clinch a playoff berth.
Yeah.
And Dan Campbell wants that title. He wants it. And all three of us have them predicted to go to the Super Bowl this year. Coming up on Sunday in the noon set, Dom, we're just going to go for the nap game right off the bat.
Okay.
Jacksonville goes to Tennessee. Tennessee's giving them 3.5.
I got to go with my Jacksonville. There's something there that's I know.
I will disagree with you. Trevor Lawrence goes into concussion protocol last Sunday. There's no way. Tennessee's going to womp on them, even as bad as they are.
I know. But you know what, Jack? They always get clobbered. I always still have to say there's that chance. It's the team that I thought,
Any given Sunday, Don.
Any given Sunday. And since it's Tennessee, it's not like they're going against Detroit.
The Jets go to Joe Robbie Stadium. Miami is giving 6.
Miami.
Absolutely Miami. The Jets are terrible.
Yeah.
And they're saying they're going to stick with Aaron Rodgers. I'll believe it when I see it. But yeah, Miami at home. Come on. After that horrible loss last week. Atlanta goes to Minnesota. Minnesota's giving them 5.5, Don.
Minnesota.
Minnesota's 10-2 right now. There are 3 losses between them and Detroit. They are chasing each other right now. Atlanta's going to get destroyed in this game, especially in Minnesota's house. Giants are hosting the Saints. New Orleans is giving 4.5.
I go to New Orleans on this one.
Would you like a crazy thought here, Don?
What?
Would you like a crazy thought?
What's that?
These teams are a combined 6-18.
Okay.
New Orleans, Taysom Hill is now out for the rest of the season. I won't say he's a key to their offense, but he's a great guy that can do a lot of things for them. I still think they beat the Giants because the Giants seem to be playing to finish at this point. New Orleans will win this, but it'll be by a touchdown, so they will cover, but it's not going to be the next game, Don, as the Carolina Panthers go to the Link to play the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly's giving them 13.
Philly.
Give me Carolina plus 13. They are going to ruin somebody's day. Philly ain't going to win this by 2 touchdowns, even in their own house. Carolina made something look pretty good on Sunday. I think they can carry it for one more week. Your Pittsburgh Steelers at Aggravated Stadium will be hosting the Browns. You are giving them 6.5. Don, this is a rivalry game.
I know. I have to go with my Steelers on this one.
Hold on one second. Okay, I just want to make sure we're okay there.
Because like we even said, we admit that they're actually doing good this year.
I need George Pickens to have 140 touchdowns, so I've got to take Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Vegas goes to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay giving them 6.5.
You know what? I can see that travel. Alex always talks travel. I'm gonna say, you know what? They're gonna be happy going to the to that side of the country. I'm gonna take Vegas.
Don, they play in Vegas.
I mean, I thought you said
no. They're at Tampa Bay, but the Raiders play in Vegas. Why would they be happy to leave Vegas to go to Tampa?
Because they're going to Florida
in December.
Because there's a beach there.
I don't understand you most times. I really don't.
I just say, you know what? They're going to go to Florida.
Tampa Bay is going to cover this by 0.5 point. They look rough right now. The Raiders are the Raiders. Because as we know, the autumn wind is a Raider. Seattle goes to Arizona. Arizona's giving 2.5.
Arizona.
Man, you're not giving me enough time to drink my drink here.
I'm sorry.
This is an NFC West game. Seattle's, even though they may be playing to finish, I think there's got a little bit left in them. Arizona's very unstable. Give me Seattle plus 2.5. They could win this by a field goal. Buffalo goes to SoFi to play the Rams and giving LA 3.5.
I'm taking Buffalo on this one. I think 3.5.
Yeah, and this is the late set.
Yeah.
I mean, Buffalo had to play in that rough game Monday night. I'm so glad I did not start Brock Purdy because I knew better than take the San Francisco quarterback in Buffalo when there's 9 feet of snow.
Yeah.
But yeah, Buffalo's going to go crazy because they're trying to lock down. They've locked down the division. Nobody can catch them in the AFC East. But
do you think that they'll start? Well, they're still trying to get the home field and everything.
Yeah, because they're chasing KC.
Yeah, and if they tie, they got the tiebreaker because they beat them.
Right, but KC's got to suffer another loss before that happens.
I know. I'm
problem.
just saying that,
And we're going to be in week 14, Don. We've still got teams on the bye. Baltimore, Denver, Houston, Indy, New England, Washington, all on the bye this week.
Okay.
Chicago goes to Santa Clara to play the 49ers. San Francisco's giving them 4.
I'd take San Francisco on this at home.
All day long. Yeah. Especially at home. All day long.
Yeah.
Sunday night football, Don.
Listen.
Chargers go to Arrowhead Stadium to play the aforementioned Chiefs. KC is giving 4.
Chargers just been doing that stuff, I can take the Chargers.
I believe in Jim Harbaugh. He's doing something there, but like you in Jacksonville, I got to stick to my guns. Chargers going Charger. And Kansas City is trying to keep Buffalo at arm's length. They will win this by double digits. It'll be low double digits. But they will win this by double digits because, as Bill Belichick says, the season starts after Thanksgiving. Exactly. And it's on. Monday Night Football. And really, Dom, there's only one way to watch this game.
What's that?
You're either going to watch it on ESPN2 or you're going to watch it on Disney Plus. Because this is the game where they're going to do the Simpsons thing. Like they did with Toy Story last year.
Which is what on that?
You'll be able to watch it animated.
Oh, really?
With Bart on one side and Homer on the other. As Cincinnati comes to this town to take on the Cowboys, and Cincy is giving them 5.5.
I'm going to take Cincinnati.
Here's my thing with this game. First of all, Homer better be coaching the Cowboys. Because I need to see Colonel Homer. Your music makes me feel a way I haven't felt since Funky Town. I want Colonel Homer. And you want to hear the crazy thing? And we talked about, Alex and I talked about this a little bit last week. The NFL wanted to flex this game, but they couldn't because Fox said, we've already done all the animation. You can't flex this game.
Okay. So how does that work? I mean, I didn't see the one last year. Is it just
so basically it's they just do it's in real time.
Okay.
And all the players are animated characters.
Okay.
And Alex said with the Toy Story thing, it was really well done.
Okay. So this is on this coming Monday then.
This coming Monday Night Football.
And it's going to be on Fox.
It's going to be on ESPN2 and Disney Plus.
Okay.
Fox is the studio, remember?
Okay. Well, I thought since maybe Fox had the show that maybe they could. Okay.
Well, Disney owns them. And they're not going to give up Monday Night Football.
Yeah. So.
And then you'll have a basketball game done with the Disney characters on Christmas Day.
So what about it's since it's the local team though, isn't it supposed to still be on the network regardless because of NFL rules?
It'll be on Channel 11, which is the official station of the Cowboys, which is the CBS affiliate. It will not be on Fox.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. But if you want to watch it animated, you have to do it on ESPN.
ESPN2.
Okay.
Or Disney Plus.
The animated, but the regular game will still
ESPN.
be on. Okay.
And probably Channel 11 locally.
Yeah, because they have to show it because it's the local team.
That's FCC law.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So that's where we're at. It's time we can talk NBA now because it's NBA. We're going to have NBA and NHL to talk about. So let's talk about the standings currently in the NBA. In the Eastern Conference Atlantic Division, because the Atlantic is in the East. Philly, God love you, 76ers. We're 20 games in, and they're 5-15. That's almost a quarter of the season done.
Now, since Alex isn't here, should I say that it's garbage or trash, or just not say it?
Just that's his bit. Let him have his bit.
Well, since he's absent, in honor of him.
Let the man have his bit.
Okay, I'm just trying to
let the man have his bit. I have spoken, so it is written, so it shall be.
Yes, it is.
Philly is 1 game behind Toronto. Toronto now 2.5 back on Brooklyn. The Nets are 4 back on the Knicks, and Daryl's beloved Knicks are 4.5 back on Boston. In the Central Division, the Detroit Pistons, former champs of basketball, are terrible. They're 9-15, but they're only a half game back on the Pacers. The Pacers now a half game back on the Bulls. The Bulls are 2.5 back on Milwaukee. And currently the Bucks are 7.5 back on Cleveland. And in the Southeast Division, which, because South and East, the Washington Wizards. They've won 2 games so far this year, Don. They're on a 15-game losing streak.
So they're 2 and what?
17.
So they're 2-15.
2-17. Don.
2-17. Okay.
They are 3 games back of Charlotte. The Hornets now 3.5 back on Miami. Miami's a half game back on Atlanta, but Atlanta now 3.5 back on Orlando, who has come out the gate strong. In the Western Conference Northwest Division, the Utah Jazz, they're terrible. They're 12 games back in the division. They're 3.5 back on Portland. Trailblazers 3.5 back on Minnesota because they're in the Northwest. Minnesota now a game back on Denver. Denver's now 4 back on Oklahoma City, who's on the comeback trail. The New Orleans Fly Pelicans. They've got 4 wins. They're 11 back in the division. They are 7.5 back of San Antonio. Spurs are now 2.5 back on Memphis. Memphis and Dallas are tied. They're both a game behind Houston. And in the Pacific Division, because the Western Conference, the Sacramento Kings are 2 games below 500 and 3 back in the division. They're 2 back on the Lakers, who got beat last night by the Heat, Don, by 47 points.
Oh, dear Lord. That's a spanking.
But we have a three-way tie for first place in the Pacific Division. Clippers, Golden State, and Phoenix are all tied for that right now. The Clippers should be like 2 back. I think somebody got their math wrong there. All right, now let's also talk about the NHL because hockey.
Okay.
And also one of Don's favorite segments we do because we'll start in the Eastern Conference Atlantic Division. The Montreal Canadiens. They have 13 points. They are 6 back in the division. They're a point back on Ottawa. Senators are 1 back on Detroit. Wait a minute. Okay. No, they have 21 points. Montreal's 21. They're 1 behind Ottawa. Ottawa's 2 back on Detroit. Detroit and Buffalo are tied. We do not like the Sabres. But they are both 2 points back on my beloved Lightning. The Lightning are 5 back on Boston. Boston's a point back on defending champion Florida Panthers. Thank you very much. And the Panthers are 2 back on Toronto. Now, where are we going? What division are we going to, Don?
The Metropolitan.
Thank you, sir. The New York Islanders, they have 25 points. They're 11 points out of first place. They're tied with Columbus. Both of those guys are a point behind your beloved Pittsburgh Penguins. Penguins are a point back on Philly. Philly and the Rangers are tied. They're both 6 back on Carolina. Hurricanes are a point back on New Jersey. And New Jersey is tied with Washington for the top of that division in the Western Conference Pacific because Western. The Anaheim Ducks, who've got the old school logo back, and I'm very excited. They have 23 points. They are 14 points back in their division right now. They're a point back of San Jose. The Sharks are a point back on Seattle. Seattle 2 back on Edmonton. Edmonton is 3 back on Calgary. Calgary is way back of Vancouver. They're 9 points back. Vancouver's a point behind the Kings, and the Kings are now, it is, Don?
Yeah, I'm listening.
They're a point back on Vegas. So that's where we're at.
Okay.
I screwed that whole division up. Let's try this again. Anaheim, 2 back on San Jose. San Jose and Seattle are tied. They're both 3 back on Edmonton. Edmonton, 2 back on Calgary. Calgary and Vancouver are tied. They're 3 back on Los Angeles. LA is now 4 back on Vegas.
Okay.
The way they do the standings on Yahoo for hockey screws me up. And in the Central Division of a conference that has no Eastern or Western, the Chicago Blackhawks are still terrible. Don, they're 20 points out of first place.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah.
That's way out.
They're 8-16-2 right now. They're 2 back on Nashville. Nashville is 4 points back on Utah Hockey Club. Welcome to the NHL. Hockey Club is 2 points back on the Blues. Blues 2 back on Colorado. Colorado now 4 back on the Stars. The Stars are 4 back on the Jets, and the Jets are 2 back on the Minnesota Wild. Don, are you ready for the return of North America's favorite game show?
Yes, I am. People have been waiting. It's been too long of a break.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It's time. What is the goal differential for the Pittsburgh Penguins?
Oh, dear Lord.
How about that, sir? Last year, San Jose went almost wire to wire. We're a month and a half into the season, and it ain't them.
-30.
-30 is what Don says.
Yeah, it's too early in the season.
The Pittsburgh Penguins have played 27 games. We're a quarter of the way through the season, Don.
Oh, never mind. Can I change it to 50?
Nope. No.
Okay.
They're 11, 12, and 4. They have 26 points. They're 7, 6, and 2 at home, 4, 6, and 2 on the road. Now, the good news is, Don, the Pittsburgh Penguins are on a 4-game heater right now.
Yeah, and there's still just one game be under 500, not counting the ties.
Let me give you a couple of things to think about.
Yeah, because this is kind of perplexing how they could be that bad. You know what I'm saying?
San Jose,
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
they're at -17. Chicago is at minus 18.
Okay.
Nashville, the Predators, are at minus 22.
I'm with you.
The Montreal Canadiens are at minus 24.
So I said 30.
The goal differential for the Pittsburgh Penguins, you were actually too high.
Oh, okay.
Minus 27 currently.
So they're not too far back.
Now, Don, my prayer for you, my hope for you, is that your boys don't pull a White Sox. I don't want this to be your team all season long.
Either do I.
But that's where we're at. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
So they're only, 3 points behind the next one?
Right. No, right now you're only a point back on Pittsburgh. On Philadelphia.
Okay, that's okay. That's not bad.
And you're currently 10 points out of first.
Yeah.
Which is New Jersey and Washington tied.
Yeah, I don't see them staying that, who knows?
It's early.
Yeah, I know.
We're also coming up on the season for the Winter Classic. It's almost time. Very excited about this.
Where's it going to be at this year?
I think there's a handful of them.
Okay.
Let's get into TV talk and stuff we watched this week. TV edition. Don, anything you watch on TV this week?
We did start that the medical thing on NBC, the Office remake.
Oh, is it St. Dennis?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So it's not as good as The Office or Parker Rex, but trying to give it a shot, see how it goes. We are gonna the new Disney Plus one we haven't got to yet, but we're probably gonna watch tomorrow night. The new Star Wars thing.
Oh, Skeleton Crew?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first 2 episodes are up. I haven't watched those yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're probably going to do that tomorrow night.
I did not watch any major TV this week because I've been trying to catch up on everything else.
I understand.
So, just a couple of headlines for this week. ABC announces, because she doesn't have enough going on, Carrie Underwood is going to co-host New Year's Rockin' Eve with the Ryan Seacrest.
Why not?
You got about 2 people that just don't know how to sit down and enjoy an evening.
I know. Especially Ryan Seacrest now doing Wheel of Fortune and everything,
Disney Plus / Hulu has renewed Rivals for season 2. So if you're a fan of that show, God bless you. Netflix has announced that season 2 of Wednesday is set for next year. They have wrapped principal photography on it.
Which one again?
Wednesday.
Oh, I never really got into it. You know what I'm saying?
But this one you might be interested in, Don.
Okay.
We have a premiere from Paramount Plus for season 2 of 1923, the Yellowstone prequel.
And I'm interested on that one.
That will kick off February 23rd. So mark your calendar on that. TV on DVD and Blu-ray this coming Tuesday. Seasons 1 and 2 of the CW program Sullivan's Crossing. We also have seasons 1, 2, and 3 of the Queen Latifah-led The Equalizer. I watched the first season, and I watched some of the second season, and I just kind of...
I tried 1 or 2, and it didn't work out for me too well.
I liked it. I just got others. It just got kind of lost in the shuffle for me.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Super, the complete series, if you're a fan of DBZ. Also, from back in the day, Donald remember when they made the Toxic Avenger into a cartoon?
Yeah, I didn't really watch it.
Toxic Crusaders.
Okay.
You're going to get the complete series of that available. The complete Cracking collection of Wallace and Gromit, which I'm a big fan there. The 60th anniversary specials for Doctor Who, and the ultimate collection of Kojak, Don. Were you a Kojak guy back in the day?
No, I wasn't. I was a little kid, but I never got into it.
No Telly Savalas for you?
Yeah. Oh, I know, with the lollipop and all that stuff.
Who loves you, baby?
Yeah. Hey, I forgot back. We did start watching 1 episode of The Agency.
What'd you think? That's Paramount Plus, right?
Yeah, it's a Showtime too.
Okay.
So it's Showtime Paramount. We watched one of the 2. They started with 2 episodes, It was okay. Wasn't the best, But I will say this though. I saw the ad on there. We were watching Yellowstones for that. So we did, but I also saw an ad for something. Got it on the last day. We got Hulu now.
Oh, you got it on the Hulu special. All right.
Yeah, $1, was it $1 a month for a year? $12 for a year. Not bad.
Now you watch Shogun.
And also The Bear. We
Yep.
We saw the first season on FX, but we got to get caught up on The Bear.
All right. Now let's talk a little movies if you want to. And stuff we watched this week. Movie edition. You see how I changed the melody line there?
Because you're incredible.
I did see a movie this week, Don.
Okay.
It is a documentary I found on the YouTube. It is called Insert Coin. This is the story of Williams and Midway in the 80s and 90s. It starts with, you remember the game Narc?
Yeah.
It starts with that, and it goes all the way up through the advent of the home system. So you get Smash TV, you get Mortal Kombat, you get all the things that they did in those years. It was done in 2020, but it just hit YouTube a couple of weeks ago. I thought it was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. So go check that out. Anything that you want to talk about that we're not going to talk about here in a minute?
Well, no, because that's basically the only new one that I saw.
Okay.
The one we'll get.
Well, remember, this isn't just about new movies, just movies that are new to you.
Yeah. I'm just trying to. We caught up on a lot of older TV this last week. So.
Well, let's talk about something that's available on our feed right now. If you're here for Sunset Lounge DFW, we put a little teaser up for you. Couple things. One, you got our deconstruction of AEW Full Gear available on the main feed right now. But you got, if you're going to get, because I'm about to put Survivor Series up, that's not going to be on the main feed. You got to pay a little bit more for that. But we also did our very first SGP mystery movie, Don.
Oh, how was it?
I want people to go watch the video. We put a reel up today for it. I like where this is going. And we're looking forward to the day where you can join us, Don, and we can all suffer through this stuff together.
I'm game.
Did we tell you what we found in the, because there's a TV show in there. So we had Sean pull the TV shows. Did I tell you what was in there?
I think you told me one. You can say it again.
Remember First and 10 on HBO?
Yeah, I remember that.
I got the whole series in one of the bags.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this next bullet point, John. Are you a fan of Dakota Fanning?
Yeah.
Man on Fire, great movie. Going to be a series on Netflix. And her sister Elle Fanning. They are working on adapting a book. The Memoir of Paris Hilton. Now, there's rumors it could be a movie, but there's also rumors it could be a series.
Okay.
And they don't know which one's going to play her. Okay, I need to say something about what something just happened in this football game.
Okay.
I appreciate when a fan goes to a game and they want to talk trash about the other team. There was a guy in the stands in Detroit that had cheese and a cheese grater because they're playing Green Bay. That is a waste of good cheese. Unless you're putting it on a taco that's out of frame. Just saying. But anyway. Paris Hilton memoir. Don, what you thinking?
I'm game on it because I heard Dakota Fanning is a really nice person. The late great Gary Murray interviewed her even when she was young, in the days before we even thought about press and all that. And it was after Man on Fire, but she's at that young age. But said she was really nice. She was 11 years old at the time, So, and well, she's a good actress. She's done it. She's been around. I could see her doing Paris.
Well, they have decided who's going to play her. They're kind of going back and forth on who's going to play her.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you mentioned Gary Murray, Don.
Okay, what's that?
As many of you know, Gary Murray is one of the two people that I have said for over a decade, this show is not where it is without him or Kelly Kitchens, who I got to see last night at the Stolen Water Media Christmas gathering, which was a blast.
Yes, it was.
Had an absolutely great time meeting up with everybody. But Gary Murray, when we lost him a few years ago, you told me that his family wanted to give me a very special gift. Would you like to share with the kids what you brought me from Gary? Do you remember?
Yes. Should we say page, plant?
All of his Zeppelin vinyl is on the other side of this desk. February 7th, there is a new documentary called Becoming Led Zeppelin that is coming out. 2 days early, they are going to have a fan event to show it in IMAX. This came down today. Maybe yesterday. In the last 24 hours. I am all in. Let's go.
You were talking about the stuff we're getting from Nicholas?
We got an email about it.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah.
But there is a fan event, so we're going to be checking that out. We're going to get you updated on that if you're a Led Zeppelin fan. I know one friend of mine, Wendy, I'm going to let her know. February 5th in the IMAX. That's going to be awesome. Because they're going to remaster everything. It's going to sound and look fantastic. Did you know we're getting another Jack Ryan movie done?
No, I didn't.
But it's going to be based on the TV show. So It's going to be John Krasinski.
So he's going to play the new Bruce Willis then, basically. I mean, Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford wasn't even the last person to play him.
I know, but I'm just saying, I still think of Harrison Ford as the guy to play.
But Sienna Miller is joining that film.
Okay.
So we got that going. Movie new releases and places you get movie new releases this week. A good friend of the show, Jim Bregel, reached out to me yesterday and asked me if we were getting a screening of this film. And we're not. But I really now, he told me about it. It's called The Return. It has Ralph Fiennes and Juliette Binoche. After 20 years, Odysseus finally returns to Ithaca, where he finds his wife held prisoner by suitors vying to be king and his son facing death at their hands. To win back his family and all he has lost, Odysseus must rediscover his strength. I'm kind of here for this, Don. Charlie Plummer's also in this. I mean, and it's under 2 hours.
Why not?
And can I say something while we're on the subject of epics films?
Okay.
We saw something in Gladiator 2 that we went, really? I did some research.
Okay.
And we're not going to spoil it, but it's what happens right in the middle of the movie. It did happen in ancient Greece, but not to that extreme. I'll explain off air.
Are you talking about you mean in Rome?
Yeah.
Can we say liquid?
No. Don't talk about it. We'll talk about it off air.
All right.
But it did happen, just not to that extreme.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, I did when I did my review at www.theclubhousepodcast.com.
That is our website.
I did kind of put that in there because I did research to make sure they did, like you're saying, not to that extreme though. But
right,
yeah.
Also, a movie this week with the Amy Adams, also with Scoot McNairy, almost a huge fan of, and Amy Adams. How you doing? It's called Night. A woman pauses her career to be a stay-at-home mom, but soon her domesticity, her ability to be at home, takes a surreal turn. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Not me. No.
Also this week, Werewolves with Frank Grillo and Katrina Law. I'm a big fan of both of these people. Two scientists try to stop a mutation that turns people into werewolves after being touched by a supermoon the year before. I saw a supermoon once. Lou Diamond Phillips is in this because werewolves. Duh, he's going to be in it. Let's see. Anybody else I recognize? Not offhand. What are your thoughts here, Don?
I like Lou Diamond. I can see the guy's greatness.
Yeah. I mean, this is one I might watch at the house. I don't think I'd go to a theater for it. We also have Getaway. This has Nick Frost in it. A family's vacation to a remote getaway takes an unexpected turn when they discover the island they're on is inhabited by a serial killer. Dude, it's the holidays. Come on. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Maybe Halloween. You released it 2 months late. You know? Or maybe they're saying, hey, if you're going to go on vacation during the holidays, be careful.
We also have a movie called Carol in December. Where do you think this is going, Don?
Carol in December?
Self-centered Solomon Lynch takes a journey through his past, present, and future. But it takes more than Christmas spirit to get things right in this story of hope, faith, and redemption.
Is it like the Christmas Story revamped or something like that?
It would be a Christmas
Carol. Okay. All right. Well,
we also have a movie. We also have a movie called Me Without Myself this week. After a high-profile missing persons case, 16-year-old Lyle returns home unharmed. Heavily shook, his father sends him away to a therapeutic boarding school. There, he forms a bond with a staff member who helps realize the illusion of his life. So there's that. And finally this week, a movie that Don has seen, and his review is up at www.theclubhousepodcast.com.
That is our website.
Y2K. This was written and directed by Kyle Mooney from SNL. He was actually on SNL this past week. Two high school nobodies make the decision to crash the last major celebration before the new millennium, which is not correct because the millennium actually started in 2001. On New Year's Eve, 1999. The night becomes even crazier than they could ever have dreamed when the clock strikes midnight. It's an hour and a half. Just like you said in your review, Don. 90 minutes. Let's go.
Yeah. Gets in, gets out. Be careful.
You want to know more? Go read his review.
Exactly. But of course, I always say be careful, know what you're going in when you go,
Don, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because I'm intrigued by this film.
Okay.
Would I enjoy this film? Because you know my proclivities.
Yeah, no. Is it like a Halloween horror film that you're definitely no? No, it's not that.
Okay.
But there are some you just didn't expect it happening, and when it happens, it happens.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? The let's just say the incidents which you were able to read on my review. When they started to happen, they happened. They didn't whitewash it or anything like that, just to say the least.
Not sure that's the term you're looking for, but okay.
Okay.
Movies on DVD and Blu-ray this week. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. So if you enjoyed that horror film, they made a sequel.
I never saw that. I'm interested in that.
You go do that.
I would.
A movie you will not be rewatching, Never Look Away, comes back that's Never Let Go that you didn't like.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Isn't that the Halle Berry thing? What is Never Look Away?
Yeah.
Oh, this is Tom Schilling. It's like maybe a foreign film. Oh yeah, this is a World War II film. Okay, I was thinking Never Let Go. That's the thing you didn't like.
Yeah, that's
we have a movie for Doc for his bad movie night, Don. Yeah.
What's that?
It's called Space Sharks.
Is it anything
Eric Roberts is in this.
Anything to do with like Sharknado?
Well, let's take a look. A military experiment conducted on a space station goes horribly wrong, sending a new breed of weaponized sharks to Earth with only one mission: destroy everything in their path. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. It might be fun.
Arrow Video this week does their versions of The Addiction and The Last Video Store. We have Steelbook editions of The Box Trolls, which is the same studio that did Kubo and the three strings. Coraline, same studio, gets a Steelbook. We have the 10th anniversary collector's edition. Don, if you can believe it's been 10 years since Interstellar came out. The
Wasn't a big
40th
fan of that one. Wasn't too big on that one.
The 40th anniversary of the Neverending Story, Don, and it comes in a replica storybook.
Oh,
How
really?
How about
I
that?
remember seeing that in the theater. I saw that as a kid when it came out in the summer when I was in Pittsburgh. And I liked it.
People say this, and I agree. If you want to know how messed up we are as Gen Xers, go watch the Never-Ending Story. And remember, we were in like middle school when that movie came out. The 40th anniversary of Paris, Texas. This week, Criterion also did a version of this a couple weeks ago. We got a 4K steelbook for the Kevin Bacon Stir of Echoes. And the Criterion collection has a couple of big ones this year. Fellini's 8.5. And we get a Criterion collection of No Country for Old Men, Don, this week.
Oh, wow.
Call it, friendo. All right. And now, this. The other half of this show is the Cheap Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things professional wrestling. It's been a couple of weeks, so let's dive right in. Don, Survivor Series was a thing last weekend. What were your thoughts?
Did any of the War Games, was there any surprises on the endings? For me,
did you not watch it?
No, I watched it.
Okay. No, I think that the Faces won both matches. I thought the matches themselves were very well done.
They were.
And we did deconstruct it with friend of the show, LA, so that'll be up to, this weekend.
But her going up and doing the trash can thing again,
But it was also, there were two jumps at the same time. Off of
I understand that.
Ends of the cage.
No, I'll give her that, but it's just kind of like, you did it last year. That I don't think was needed for what it's worth.
But I thought they were both really good matches. Apparently, Sheamus cracked a rib in that triple threat, so he's going to be out for a little while. Yeah.
I did not know that.
And then there were a couple of other injuries as well, but we're keeping an eye on things. I thought it was a good show. I believe I rated it as a B+.
Yeah, and that Sheamus match was good as a wrestling match, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gunther's still solidifying that he's a guy who could wrestle and deserve to be champ. Even though with the shenanigans where they're trying to make a story, I don't think that was needed. I think a simple, clean win would have been better versus and I love Finn Balor, I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But
who apparently is being poised for a big singles push next year.
Oh, Finn is?
Yep. Apparently I didn't realize he's been in the company for 10 years now.
Well, that one I can believe. But overall, it was a good pay-per-view. I'd probably give it like a because the War Games still were good. I thought the women's match was really good. I knew Tiffy Time was going to pull something out of the trash, which he did. I saw that coming.
I did say that in the pre-show. Is what does the briefcase get involved?
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, overall, still, I think the wrestling on those other matches were good. But of course, it's War Games and we knew that was going to happen. You knew Roman was going to spear Punk and all that. I heard Bronson got hurt though too.
Yes, we're going to leave that to the side.
Okay,
that was rough to see.
Yeah.
Also,
is there an update on how long he's going to be out?
Have not heard as of yet.
Okay.
Also, Turning Point was a thing on Friday night with TNA. Only real interesting note from that, Trey Miguel could not make it for the 6-man. He was having travel issues. Did you see who replaced him, Don?
No, because I don't have no.
Bro.
Oh, okay. I heard something about him coming back.
Matt Riddle, and they lost that match. So they did announce that Rebellion will be April 27th at the Galen Center at USC. That'd be Southern Cal, by the way. And Slammiversary will be July 20th at the UBS Arena in Belmont Park, New York. So 2 big pay-per-views for them this coming year. And we have new WoW tag team champs in Big Rig Betty and Jesse Jones. So you got that going for you. SmackDown talk. Mishin, my pick to win the U.S. title, did advance in the tournament, so there is that. Raw news: McAfee returns next month. Don.
Oh, really? Because of the is he because of the football or what?
Yeah, college football is going to be done, so he can go back to. Apparently, he will be going back to Raw with Michael Cole, and they're going to move Tessitore and Wade Barrett to SmackDown.
Okay, and I like Wade Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
I think Wade Barrett is a good. He tries to pay the heel announcer and stuff, but still, he's a good announcer. I feel.
They have said today that the Netflix era will still be PG. So they're not going to push things. And they have not said anything about Netflix, but all the Raw archives will be leaving Peacock at the end of the month. I'm assuming they'll go to Netflix.
We're hoping.
They haven't said officially.
I mean, exactly. So basically, you could stream live, basically, I think, and then
we'll see
on Netflix or watch the replay or something.
But I'm talking even the archives.
Yeah,
I think you'll be able to get every episode of Raw ever because they're leaving Peacock. I think they'll go to Netflix.
Yeah,
which I didn't think they would, but apparently they're not going to be on Peacock. So apparently they have a new app called Light Show that they tested out this week on Raw, where Lillian would cue everybody to turn their flashes on their phones on, so like their flashlights on their phones, and there would be an app that would interact with it. I haven't seen the results of it, but I'm interested to see what this does.
Yeah.
Dakota Kai advances in the women's Intercontinental title tournament. I like that. I think that belt as a women's belt to me looks better than the men's Intercontinental belt. Bring back the oval belt and let that one be the women's belt because I think it looks really good on that white strap.
Yeah, I do like that because I remember there's been some different Intercons. I don't like the current one. It looks just too.
I like that they put the little blue splashes in it. It's a little better, but it's not the oval belt. The oval belt's still my favorite.
Yeah, I mean the one that Steamboat won in WrestleMania 3, that's the one I always think of.
I found it also hard to believe, and then I kind of did the math and was like, wow, it's been 4 years since Big E was in the ring.
And was it was his neck or something? Or
yeah, it was his neck. It was Ridge Holland. It was a bad spot.
So do you think he could ever come back?
I hear conflicting reports. But here's my question. After the big thing from Raw was the New Day turning on Big E. Where do you think this goes? Because I have a theory.
I don't know. Because, Xavier never had the big title.
He's never had a singles title at all.
Yeah. Big E won the championship. Kofi won the championship. But he never did.
The only thing Xavier has from a single standpoint is King of the Ring.
So what are you thinking?
I think this is going to start a new feud, and they're going to bring somebody over to do it because I think Big E picks up where Bobby Lashley left off with the Street Profits.
So what do you think brings in then? Bobby Lashley coming back?
No.
Okay.
Remember, the Street Profits were hooked up with B-Fab and Bobby Lashley before Bobby Lashley left.
Okay.
I'm saying Big E takes that role and manages the Street Profits, bringing them over
as the MVP
Raw.
guy. Okay, so Street Profits.
Yeah. He brings them over to Raw or brings the New Day to SmackDown, one of the two.
Okay.
So, also, we had the return of Drew McIntyre, so we're going to see where this goes. I think it muddies the water for this whole Punk Seth Rollins thing, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean it's good to see him. I don't know I don't see who they can put him in a feud with.
He'll probably pick up on Punk again. It'll probably be a triple threat. NXT Deadline is this Saturday. I'm very much looking forward to this one because looks like it's going to be a good show because Ren Sinclair wins the women's 4-way to get into the Iron Survivor match, as Eddie Thorpe wins the men's, but then is attacked backstage. So we don't know how that's going to work out on Saturday. But I always like this event. So we're going to see how it works. Bischoff was there. And he said the phrase, "You can cut the tension with a chainsaw." I'm not sure that was what you were going for, dude.
It's a chainsaw.
Like, you don't, that doesn't make the metaphor work. You can cut the tension with a butter knife. That's the metaphor, because it's so thick and so tense that you can just cut right through it.
Okay.
That was weird.
And I always liked Bischoff.
I thought he did a good job. I thought he did a great job. Him and X-Pac were both there. I don't know what that does for your programming, but always good to see the legends. It's crazy to think about it. We're creeping up on the 30th anniversary of the first Nitro.
And that was how long ago did you say? 30?
30 years. 30 years next year, I do believe. I think it's 30 years next month. AEW, again, our deconstruction of Full Gear is available. We did the whole thing, 4.5 hours.
Like I said last night, you get your money's worth on that one.
That's right. Juice Robinson is out injured. He was in the Continental Classic, and he is out, and we don't know how long. So,
and that's sad, because that guy, I could see him winning it, because the guy's getting over, just being Juice, coming out, just being the weird kind of rowdy guy,
being Mr. Tony Storm.
Yeah.
So, Don, did you watch Rampage?
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Dynamite last night because of the,
So Rampage, they were doing a salute to luchadors. And last week on Rampage, Thunder Rosa was talking about it, and she didn't have an opponent, so she put out an open challenge. And then we had Computer, who is apparently the female version of Hologram.
Yeah, I love that.
And then they called her Harley Graham.
Harley Graham.
My favorite line was when Daddy Magic said, "I don't know if you knew this, but Harley Graham was trained by the Midnight Rider." And I just went, well played. It's a deep cut, and I'm not explaining it. If you don't know, just do the research.
But, she's getting over.
I love her. I think she's great.
Yeah. I really do.
She is Ms. Zion Quinn.
Ms. Zion Quinn?
Remember Zion Quinn that used to be in NXT?
Okay.
That's her boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
And the only thing I have is Dynamite. Kyle Fletcher gets 3 points in the Continental Classic in a great match. Looking forward to seeing where this goes as we come close. Next week is Winter is Coming. Wednesday is that show.
Yeah, you don't see anything changing on that one, do you?
The match I'm interested to see is Mina Shirakawa versus Mariah May for the title. Because they had a nice little exchange last night. I really did dig that, and I'm looking forward to that. But I don't even know what else is on that card. I got to look it up. Anything else you want to talk about, Don?
No, I'm good on that.
All right, over there is a QR code. Scan it. Get all the stuff you need. Remember, $5 a month gets you all the amazing content here at Sunset Lounge DFW. And if you stay till the end, you might see something you haven't seen before. But you can also follow us on your social medias. You can follow me on your social medias. Everything is Yes That Rob Urban. That is spelled ERVIN. Want to remind you, next Saturday, December 14th, Round Pen Cowboy Church in Terrell, Texas. Grace D, in almost its original form, takes the stage. You don't want to miss it. 7 o'clock, Round Pen. Look it up and follow us on social media as well. My co-host is Alex Barnhill. You can follow him at Vexploit, VEXPLOIT, on all your social medias.
You might get some awesome shirts that make you look good. Go to prowrestlingtees.com/the cheap podcast. And at Twitter, I'm Eddie Bunu, IGBNUUU. And if you want this man to your place, email me, Don, at clubhousepodcast.com.
We love doing live shows and hanging out with the Empire, so email Don on that. You can email me questions, comments, concerns. Somebody go pound sand. I am Rob at theclubhousepodcast.com. Charla Marshall is on Pinterest because we are morally obligated to say that our normal show every Thursday night, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific is your one-stop shop for, or 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific is your one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, pop culture, pro wrestling. Next week, we will be on at that time, but on Wednesday night, because we're booked on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but we're still going to bring you content. Make sure you look at all the levels. Our tiered memberships, there's cool stuff with all of it. So make sure you check it out. So until next time, for Don, for Alex, for the Empire, I'm Rob. Clubhouse is closed. Brittany Palmer now on Threads.
This is a Stolen Water Media production.